Welcome to another episode of Is Debatable NBA Edition. I'm your host, Justin Jones, here with co-host Sebastian Pluvios, co-host Jalen Green, and we're talking sports. But before we get into it, how both y'all gentlemen doing?
I'm doing well.
Feeling good. Shout out to my Spartans, though. I'm on Spartans right now, currently upstate, trying to bring that state chip, trying to get two-time state champions, though. So shout out to them boys. Shout out to Trav.
Right, shout out to everything going on with the Elmont Memorial High School sports activities. Hopefully they go as far as they can. But we're talking NBA right now. We're inching closer and closer to the playoffs every single day. And one of the hottest teams that has come out of the All-Star break is the defending champion Denver Nuggets. They are 11-1 since coming out of the All-Star break. I see throughout the media, everyone keeps referring to a text message that was sent from Nikola Jokic to his teammates when they were sort of struggling a bit. And ever since then, they just put their foot on the pedal and they've been winning a lot of games. So it had me think of the question, are we taking the field to represent the Western Conference, or are we taking the Denver Nuggets to get back to the NBA Finals? I'll start with Jalen.
No, because again, even from the beginning of the season, I stated that Los Angeles Clippers will be in the NBA Finals. But to the Nuggets' credit, I definitely feel like, even though I may feel how I feel, I do still feel like the Nuggets are still the best team in the Western Conference. I think the biggest part of their success is the fact that they have Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. Just two, Aaron Gordon 6'8", Michael Porter at 6'10", both of them just being very efficient at just moving without the ball. Michael Porter being an effective shooter, great defender as well, and Aaron Gordon as well too. He can shoot when he has to, and then also just being in the inside, getting lost from Nikola Jokic. I definitely feel like those two are like the biggest factors and the biggest difference makers for the Nuggets. And I really feel like they've been like the biggest factors on them winning games and having the success that they have as well. I definitely feel like Nikola Jokic is who he is. Again, he's potentially looking at another MVP season. Again, it kind of seems like he's more so like the game is just simpler for him. He's not really working too hard for his buckets. He kind of makes the decisions. He kind of makes the best decisions on the court as well. There's really not too many, how would I say, negatives with the Nuggets. It's more so they kind of more so on opponent base, what they have to do to win the game. So, and staying healthy as well. So I definitely feel like just the Nuggets are still the best team in the West. But for me specifically, I just have the Clippers and going to the NBA Finals.
Seb?
Well, to me, is for the safest bet right now would have to be for the Denver Nuggets to get back to the finals, just off the strength of what we're seeing this far. Just being 11-1 after post All-Star break, we really see this team just turning it up a notch. Come playoff time, usually this is the time where you want to hit your strides for the playoffs. Just to let teams know that you're gonna be here within those April, May, and June. Things of that nature. So what I'm seeing right now, and what I didn't even know that you said that too, that Jokic sent out a text that really got his team going. That's some shit. That's some real leader shit too. That players of his caliber has to do in order to get this team going. Because at points we felt like they was just coasting throughout the regular season. They was just like they might drop a little game here or there compared to what we seen last season. But from what we're seeing right now, this team is right in the position that they want to be going into this playoff season. To me, I feel like we should bet on them, because at the end of the day, the safest thing to do is bet on teams with experience. What we like to do as fans and, contemporaries of the league, we like to just, say, oh, maybe it's not their year. Maybe this team can outshine them this year. So that's why, like me and Jalen, we had the Clippers going. Some teams still have the Lakers, making it out. We own wild cards such as the Timberwolves and even Oklahoma City Thunder that we would even like to see in the playoff, in the finals. But to us, it's really just to me, it's like really so. When we look at it, the Denver Nuggets really there's no flaws really that we've seen. They're really the same exact team, just different pieces. We've seen guys that stepped up thus far within their younger players like Payne Watson. I seen him take a step forward. You still got your returning guys within KCP, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter that really shows up when you need them to have the same familiar roles, and even Jokic. I feel like he's, just being a little bit more aggressive, really hunting more shots, just, trying to solidify himself as the MVP, which to me right now is like he's running away with it too. It's like he's really running away.
Running away, I disagree. I don't think he's running away.
He's running away. As much as I respect Shai Gilgeous and what he's doing this season, and me personally, I had Shai Gilgeous winning, but just every time I look up, the ESPN just got him number one, and it's for a good reason too. He's 11-1 right now. Like, feel me? Like everything is going right for the Denver Nuggets right now. So just the momentum that they got going on right now, we could really be talking about this team as a two-time champion.
Right. I definitely do agree with most of the points you made. I disagree with the running away with it. I think there's a lot of worthy candidates. We can't just sweep Shai Gilgeous' season under the rug. I be seeing on ESPN them comparing it to previous MVP seasons, and it's identical or better numbers to even Kobe's MVP seasons, Kevin Durant's MVP season. So we can't sweep the under the rug. Giannis has also been great. We spoke before about Jason Tatum. Even a Luka Doncic, what he had the 8 straight games with the 30-point triple-double. We've never seen anything like that. You know how hard that probably is to do that for 8 straight games?
Nah, 100%.
Like, that's ridiculous, and that's why we've never seen it. So that's the only thing I did disagree with. But just in terms of the Nuggets or the field, I kind of felt the same point that you tried to make, because obviously I think the Lakers are going to win it all. You think the Clippers. But being realistic, the Denver Nuggets, yes, are the best team. So I am going to just take the Nuggets. Like, if I had to really put my life savings down over the field or the Nuggets, I'm going to say the Nuggets. And just for the points both of y'all made, it's basically the same team coming back. So they already have that chemistry. We just spoke about before, but before we got on camera, you need that definitive number one guy to win a championship. You can't really just have a whole bunch of just great players. You really need that one guy, though, that, you know, once it's crunch time and you need a bucket, you can just you could throw it to them and they're going to take you home.
Facts.
And Nikola Jokic is definitely that guy. You brought up a great point. Just that pairing down low with Gordon and Jokic, they get so many offensive rebounds and so many extra possessions. I think it really hurts teams, especially in crunch time moments. I was watching when they just played the Toronto Raptors. And the Raptors blew like what, a 10-plus point lead? They came all the way back and just second chance opportunities, knocking down the 3-point shots, knowing where Jokic wants the ball, knowing when Jokic has the ball on that right wing, have to be in this left corner. Everyone knows their role. The coach knows how he wants to run the offense. They have no real question marks. The only thing would have been health, and it seems like to Seb's point, they were coasting, making sure everybody was healthy, and now they're 11-1 in their last 12 games. To Seb's point, Nikola Jokic is number one in MVP rating. Everything looks great with them, so I don't really have anything bad to say. Shout out to Jamal Murray too, just another year removed from injury. He looks great. You know, he could score 20 points in the blink of an eye. Right? So just shout out to everyone on their roster. Even a Reggie Jackson, someone I brought up when the season first started. I said when they picked him as someone that can get you 15 to 20 on any night if he gets hot. And literally just the other night, we seen him close out a game. We seen that when the starters didn't play and they had DeAndre Jordan out there and Reggie Jackson, they were looking like Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. So it's like they have a lot of good pieces. I don't feel there's no egos on this team either. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do, what their goal is at the end of this season. The Denver Nuggets are looking good right now, and I'll admit, if the Lakers do get out the play-in and it's a 1-8 matchup, it's just going to be tough. I'm not going to lose 100% faith, but I will be having nightmares. So just shout out to the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, to me, and that's kind of scary, too, when you look at it, too, because, you know, we talk about all these teams that are contending, and we have this but and all this variables that needs to go right for them. For this team right now, when we looking at it, it's like, they check out all the check marks.
All the boxes.
And we haven't said, but all this needs to do, if they want to do this, if they want to repeat again, they would have to do this. It's literally like they're hitting their stride at the right moment. So we don't really have no question marks because we know what this team is capable of already.
Right. So I want to ask you real quick, Jalen, just out of both conferences, the West and the East, who do you think would give the Nuggets the toughest matchup?
The toughest matchup? I would probably say the Timberwolves, just off the sole fact
Over
of
the Celtics?
Yeah, because matching up wise, you have Rudy Gobert and then Karl Anthony Towns, and then with Kyle Anderson and just to combat like the size for Michael Porter Jr. I just think matching up wise, they kind of match up on paper good with the Denver Nuggets. And even last year, I even heard like Nuggets players saying that they had difficulty, guarding the Timberwolves. They're the only team that really won a game against the Timberwolves in that Western Conference that whole playoffs. So it would have to be the Timberwolves to me. So yeah.
What about you, sir?
To me, it would be on the East. It would either be the Boston Celtics or the Milwaukee Bucks, though. I do feel like with just, with Aaron Gordon and Jokic, you have a perfect matchup with Giannis and Brook Lopez down low, too, as well. I do feel like the guard play with Jamal Murray and Damian Lillard does cancel each other out. And if you want to talk about Michael Porter Jr. and what if Chris Middleton can get back to, being a definitive three, like second option, third option type of guy, then we go look at an equal matchup. And for the Boston Celtics, too, I feel like just that team alone, just the type of players that they have on this floor, I feel like Jaylen Brown is hitting his strides at the correct moment, too. Jason Tatum is, has regressed a little bit, from what we talked about in the MVP, like literally a week ago. He's been there, but he hasn't been the best player right now for me. I feel like the post All-Star break, it has been Jaylen Brown. So shout out to Jaylen Brown. So right now, it's just like you got like two guys that really could just, get you like 30 on any given night. I feel like Porzingis definitely could get you 20 points too. Derek White has been none short of sensational on the defensive end, as well as Drew Holiday too. So I feel like those Eastern teams really match up more to what the Denver Nuggets are capable of doing, but more so than on the West, because on the West, I don't really see no bigs that can really just, hold their own against Jokic. We talk about guys like Rudy Gobert. We know that he's a great defensive player, but when it comes down to it, a guy like Jokic is very, offensively skill set. So Rudy Gobert would struggle, a guy like Jokic, that could play out in the perimeter, that could play within the mid-range or play on a low post against him. And when I think about all the other team, Anthony Davis has not had no type of success against Jokic in quite some time. When I think about it, Zubac would not even hold his own against him. I just look at it like that. Which teams can really hold their own against a Jokic? And I don't see no team on the West really.
Right. I think the biggest start would just have to be the Boston Celtics. They have the deepest roster in the NBA to me. They got two definitive all-stars and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And then just defense. You're gonna have to be, I feel, a real good defensive team to beat the Denver Nuggets, and you're gonna have to be real militant on how you play defense. And I think just what I've seen from the Boston Celtics, I think they check off enough boxes to take the Denver Nuggets at least 7 games and to make it a great series. I think that's why everyone is projecting for, I think, those two teams to meet in the finals, and that's why we seen the last time when they did meet up, it was just a huge game with a lot riding on it. And to your point, Jason Tatum didn't do what he was supposed to do. But I think if he does, and the rest of the team follows, his lead, I think the Celtics are the toughest matchup in my opinion.
Yeah. Only thing is, I know y'all speaking about defense, but did y'all see what Jokic did to Porzingis the last time? No,
he did. He did.
Killing him. I don't think Porzingis got enough.
But I think with Boston, they have enough defensive schemes to where I feel like you could get that for one game, but is that going to be throughout the whole? I know Jokic is great, but is he going to be able to baby Porzingis for a whole 7-game series? Is what I would bank on too.
But I'm feeling like it's not even too much that Jokic is gonna get his period. Yeah. I haven't seen anything that's gonna stop Nikola Jokic, so I don't want to say that. I think it's, can you match up with everyone else and try to stop?
You got to match firepower. That's what it comes down to.
Drew Holiday, a Derek White, a Jason Tatum, a Jaylen Brown. You have defenders that's going to give problems to the Michael Porter Jr., the Jamal Murrays, the Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So that's what I'm looking at. But I wasn't just trying to look at the Porzingis versus Jokic, because I seen that Jokic was cooking them. I know exactly what you're talking about. So I'm not trying to make it about that matchup. It's about, can we stop everyone else? Yeah. I don't think no one's game plan should be, let's try to stop Jokic and let everyone else. No.
Because then you're going to forget Jamal Murray might come through, give you 40.
You don't want those.
Michael Porter might go 10 for 10 from 3-point.
You want Jokic to have a Michael Jordan, LeBron type of performance to carry them throughout the whole damn playoffs and finals.
You got to pick your poisons for which game.
We want Jamal Murray. You average 40 and beat us. Michael Porter Jr., you average 35 points and beat us. Because at the end of the day, if he does that, then damn, he's like that.
Yeah.
They haven't proven that. Well, Jamal Murray has proven. He could put up a lot of points, but Michael Porter Jr. hasn't proven that. Aaron Gordon has not proven that. Let the others beat you.
All right.
That's just how I feel. But we have to move on to the next topic. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. We all will be watching how far you make it this year. I thought this was an interesting topic right here since we're gearing down to the end of the regular season. Which player, team, or moment has been the biggest disappointment this season? And I'll start with Sir.
To me, it has to be the Phoenix Suns because what I'm looking at right now is a team that when they got together as the big three, everybody's like, "Oh shit, it's gonna be a scary sight." What I see right now, I
didn't
see
say that. I just wanna make that
but you
clear.
know how the media is. It's
No,
like we got
yeah.
Bradley Beal now, we got Devin Booker, we got KD. And to me, I just feel like this team is just like it's not as a big as a threat as, when we made it out to be within the beginning of this season. I definitely feel like this team right now has the potential to get out the first round. And like just to me, I just see too much hero ball going on with this team. When I said they needed a point guard, when I said this team needed a point guard, you remember they was frying me in the comments. Oh, this guy don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My team's gonna be good, bro. You need a point guard. And the thing is too, what makes it worse is that this is a Frank Vogel team, and I know Frank Vogel emphasizes defense. This team can't play no defense, not one bit right now. Like I can't name you the best defender right now in Phoenix. And to me, it would be KD, and that's kind of sad because KD's damn near about to be pushing 40, and to me, he's the best defender on this team. To me, this team is just good. I feel like they should have been like a top 4 seed, coming into the season, like a real threat. But to me, I just don't feel like no team is gonna lose sleep over the Phoenix Suns right now off the strength that, feel me, if you stop the hero ball and you stop the motion that they got going on, they're not guarding nobody on the other end. Like, feel me, a team like the only team that could possibly be right now would be if they see Timberwolves right now, and that's because Karl-Anthony Towns is out right now. But other than that, all teams match up well against them too, and they play better defense to a point where how much points can you rely on hero ball to where you get a Devin Booker ISO, a Bradley Beal ISO, KD ISO, and maybe a kick out in the corner 3 to a Royce O'Neal and a Grayson Allen to where it's gonna win you 4 games within a series. And we all know that once you get deep into the playoffs, shit gets harder. Like, feel me, teams catch on. So all that hero ball shit, feel me, I just don't see no real identity with this team. I just see 3 great offensive players that if you put them together, that it could lead to something. But I feel like they're just trying to emulate what Brooklyn did with the Harden, Kyrie, and KD. But you can't do that too because there's no real definitive point guard. So to me, it has to be the Phoenix Suns right now. I believe they're 6th or 7th, in that playing spot. I had higher expectations to them, and that's just me though.
Right, so I just want to respond to that. In terms of the point guard thing, I thought like that. I agree to that point. I think they should have got a real point guard, so where Devin Booker doesn't. You made this point before. Doesn't have to do so much of the point guard responsibilities because I feel he's more just a pure scorer. I feel like they could have just called up Rajon Rondo. Like, we just want someone to pass the fucking ball around. I think that would have been a perfect fit, but they didn't do it. But I also wanted to say, this is what their new owner was kind of banking on when they pushed this trade through. It was like, if we are gonna win the chip this year, it's gonna be strictly offensively. Like, teams are gonna have to outscore us, and that's just a dangerous game to play. But I feel we really can't judge the Phoenix Suns until next season. Once they go into free agency, see what supplementary parts they can pick up. Because I was one of the ones that was telling y'all these Drew Eubanks and other players of the world isn't gonna get it done for them. That's not going to work. But I think both of y'all was just real high on the big 3. And right now they're coasting, like not like they're not in the playoff picture, but it's just not going to be enough. It's going to have to be the others that's going to have to help them in the playoffs. And I don't think they just have enough solid others. But shout out to Grayson Allen. That's someone that I just want to, just give kudos to because he got better. Like, his 3-point shooting is deadly.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about he could really average about 6-7 a game if he really tried to. From what I'm seeing. So, shout out to him. Shout out to Lethal Shooter because he be working with a lot of these, people on their jump shots and things like that.
Yo, Lethal Shooter, hit me up, man. I need a little,
We'll need about 5 lethal shooters for sale. But because
be a little,
But so I just want to say shout out to Grayson Allen. But that's all. That's all we had to say about the Phoenix Suns. I don't know if you wanted to talk.
I think cause Seb went crazy on him. Like, but I definitely feel like I don't feel like they're like struggling, but I definitely feel like Seb was right on the points that he made. Like, they're not a great defensive team. My problem with them is more so offensively, more so just because why I was watching like them against the Celtics. It's more so just these early shot clock threes with Devin Booker, and Devin Booker specifically. It's like sometimes he feels like he needs to score instead of just play within the game, and I really feel like that kind of hinders them from like winning certain games, or gets them in those like periods where they're down 10 and where the other team is going on an 8-0 run. It's more so specifically on offense too. And again too, I definitely feel like Bradley Beal feels like he's out of place at times too. I definitely feel like there's a lot of possessions where the ball only touches about 2 to 3 hands, but if you go to like other plays and everything, once everybody touches the ball and the ball moves around, they're more better team like that, and they get more open looks and greater looks like that. And once the ball touches the paint, they're a better team because they start moving the ball around and everybody starts getting to be open. It's just more so offensively. Like, they just got to be consistent offensively, because again, I just see specifically in those period of times when the other team going on runs and they just having that, that drywall like offensively, it's more so because they're just shot hunting instead of trying to play within the game and getting the best shot available. So I still think they're a great team. I'm still looking forward to them on the plays. I think like they're a great team just in the fact that, we all know those three, but I think with the others, everybody has a clear-cut role on what they have to do. I definitely feel like Nurk has been killing it on the boards. Great defensively as well. Same thing with Grayson Allen. Rocio has his gains, but for the most part, he's been solid as well. Bo's been showing up as well, improving a little bit. It's just more so I just got to see him once they touch the playoffs.
So, quick question before we move on to how you guys feel about this topic, though. When they made the trade, do you feel like the team that they had before, like, do you think they really needed to make the KD trade, the Bradley Beal trade, and everything of that nature? Or do you think they could have been still developing, the Mikal Bridges, the Cam Johnsons, the DeAndre in? Do you feel like they pulled the plug too quickly on that, or?
I feel I don't want to answer in the terms of did they pull it too quickly. I just want to say I think before that team was more suited for a series. I feel like this team is more suited for a playing game where you're going to need your stars to be very good offensively to get you out of this game. I just think it's always risky just putting 3 ISO scorers together and then just asking them to sacrifice and just figure everything out within the season. That's just very difficult to do, and that's why I tried to make the point. I think you should really judge them next season when they go through a training camp. They get the pieces that, that they want to try to get. You never know who Frank Vogel might add to his staff, take away from his staff. So I think once they could do all that, they'll be better. But I can't say did they pull the plug too soon, because it was a new owner and he wanted a fresh team, it seemed like. So I can't. That's what he wanted to do.
Facts. No, I don't think. But I don't think they pulled the plug too early, because again, you get a chance to get KD on your team. You do it. You feel me? And I think specifically, like with Chris Paul, Chris Paul was aging out too, and I feel like too, in that playoff series before, like they were moving way too slow. I think their whole thing was that they wanted to move at a faster pace too. So I'd rather have Bradley Beal than Chris Paul, to be honest.
But I want to ask you, so you just said when you had a chance to get Kevin Durant, you automatically do it. Why do you have to, right now at the stage of his career, you automatically have to do that trade?
Yeah, because again, like alongside Devin Booker, getting a guy like KD, like there's no question, like I would do that.
What does that do though for your long-term success? Like, are you saying getting him on the team guarantees you a championship?
Yeah, if you're I'm not, it's not guaranteeing a championship, but if you're contending, I'd rather have Kevin Durant on my team than Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. If I'm contending.
Because you feel that gets you closer to the chip?
Yeah.
You also gutted your roster because they was already contending.
Yeah, but
so you gutted your roster just to get one star who's past his prime.
Yeah, but also too, there was nobody on that team that had experience winning the championship, and also a high level
because they went to the finals and lost though. But you keep building off that. You had your young players, and you keep. That's usually how we like. Just like we see in the Denver Nuggets, they lost before, but they kept building, and now they're solid for like the next 5, 6 years compared to you go all in.
And mind you, that was a team
for-
already that went to the finals too.
That's what I'm trying to make. So you went all in for it. And I'm not saying the trade was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't know if that was you automatically had to just say yes.
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
that's something you could have really maybe waited, and I feel they really jumped the gun. That was really on the owner. Yeah. And because now it's like if you don't really win within this next 2 years, how big is this window?
Yeah, but even if I just still feel even in the longer run, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson won't contribute as much as a KD if you're contending.
We'll also put Devin Booker into that. It's not like it was just
but I'm saying the trade specifically for Kevin Durant was for Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. You automatically, like, no question in any situation, I'm doing that, no hesitation.
But now you got to look at your future, though.
Can I say this real quick? I'm going to let you go. With this duration of him on this team now, they at least have to get to the finals one time because then you didn't do anything better because we went to the finals already without him. So if they don't at least get there, you did that really for nothing.
But they're still a better team. Like
I
understand the expectation element of it.
They're a better team. Why? Because they have now a dominant scorer. That's what you're saying. Because just adding a dominant score does not mean your team is better. Because the continuity could have been better with those players.
Yeah, but
that
even
better.
if that was the same, but prior to Kevin Durant, this is the same team that got blown out in the Game 7. Like they had a good regular season, but when we got to the playoffs, they got exposed every time, twice.
I don't know.
They only got exposed in that. Between that.
Yeah, like come on, they got exposed.
Yeah,
bro,
but at the same time, though, I feel like
I think they just lost to a better team in the finals. I don't know if they were exposed.
Better team in the final, bro. They got blown out by 30 in a Game 7. Like that's exposed, bro. In a Game 7, you don't get blown out by 30, bro.
I'll give you that one.
Mavericks, bro. You don't do that.
I'll give you that one. But at the same time, you could still regroup with that. I feel like they could have regrouped. You still got Cam Johnson, and that's way more durable than freaking Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's gonna miss his time. Bradley Beal has missed a vast amount of time too. So when I say pulling the plug, I mean like you giving up health, longevity as well too. Like you giving up a lot for Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant is not getting younger too. So like when I say like that, it's not to mean like, oh, they didn't get better or they didn't. Like, feel me, it's Kevin Durant. You would want to add Kevin Durant to your team, but now you have a window. Now think about this. Now say if they underachieve within that window, what's next for the future of the Phoenix Suns though? Because what young talent do you have besides Devin Booker? And Devin Booker is getting up there. He's about to hit his prime for real. Who else you gonna have down? Nurkic is damn near about to be out. Feel me? You gonna rebuild with Booker and Grayson Allen? Like, feel me? Again, so there's a time period for what I'm saying is there's a time period for it, and this is why, like, feel me, I made them disappointed because if you're gonna do all this, you're gonna make a big three. You gotta capitalize on that because there's a time window.
Yeah, because now what if they lose in the play-in?
Yeah, but
this was another failed season with Kevin Durant.
I get what y'all saying, but that's kind of more so a what if like factor of it. If I'm going in, like again, like if the season ended and I'm saying I want to contend, I want a chance at the NBA championship, and I'm trying to make moves to win me a championship that I'm trying to set a roster that I think will win me an NBA championship in this window, this 3-year window. I'm making that Kevin Durant
gutting
trade.
your roster for KD.
Yeah, bro.
Betters your chance.
Yes. So you're saying like they had a better chance winning the championship with Mikal Bridges and Cam than they have with Kevin Durant, or it's just equal?
I'm making the point that it was not guaranteed, period, but usually keep your younger talent because, like I said, they got to the finals, so it wasn't like they couldn't get there. They got there. Now you learn from that and you keep building. That's my point. If every team just got to the finals, lost, and then just pulled the panic mode and then just do a trade, I don't like that. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Like.
But I'm saying they got to the finals, and then the next 2 years they were second round exits.
Well, technically 1 year because
but 22 and 23.
Yeah, but 23 that's what Kevin Durant though.
Yeah.
So you made that trade. Feel me? Now year one was a failed experiment with the player that you brought in to get you guys over the hump. Mm-hmm. Now we're banking on year 2 with KD on this, and we're in the 7th seed. It's not like we got any better. We was way better last year when we was the 5th seed.
But I think, well, hold on. I think another thing you guys are not realizing too, like going into that Kevin Durant trade, that they were injured and they were low key not a good team. Like too, like with Mikal at the helm, like when Mikal at the helm and like Cam, they weren't like having the best. You feel me? They were like that's what they were doing. Like they were up in there
now either.
But I'm saying they were up in their trade value.
The point is that at least if you have a young talent, you could always have trade pieces, and it's like. They're not. It's not like they're getting worse. Like Kevin Durant is older, and once like let's say hypothetically this experiment does fail, you have nothing to show for it. At least if you're failing with your young guys, you still have your young guys. If you fail this Kevin Durant experiment, it's just you have nothing left. To his point, but Grayson Allen and Devin Booker.
But if I have a chance to give up Mikal and Cam for Kevin Durant, why wouldn't I do it?
Okay,
like why would I say
feel
no?
This is where we're disagreeing.
Yeah.
You feel it moved the needle more than I feel it did for me. This Kevin Durant didn't really move the needle that much for them because they're in a position to not even make the playoffs.
No, they're gonna make the playoffs.
That's
but I'm saying no. I know
we can't say that.
I know.
They're in a playing situation right now.
They're in a playoff situation, but if you like the record, they have a positive record and they're in content. They could eat like the West is very like tight. I'm not gonna lie. So like there's a position that they can get like a 5th or 6th in the position. But right now I know they're in like a playing spot. But I'm not gonna like. They're not having like the bad season, like you feel me.
But they're
like,
not real contenders, is what I'm getting at too.
But that's what I'm saying. We haven't stepped to the playoffs yet.
But we have it though. But the fact that you're in play-in situation for a team, for somebody
but again,
that you
like their record is not bad. Like I'm not gonna like they're like 37-29. Like,
but have they developed any type of consistency? Has they done anything to where this ain't they could be a serious threat?
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like Bradley Beal has been injured. You feel me? Like it's a lot of other.
But don't you make that trade to his point to be a serious threat, not to be a playing team?
I get that, but again, it's a tight race in the West. I understand that, and the players have still not started. Like they're still a good team.
Right, so we're talking about what's going on right now. They're a playing team. We can't talk about the future because that hasn't happened. We could talk about they're a playing team right now.
Like currently right now. Like
I wouldn't say a playing team necessarily. Though.
They're in the playing, bro.
Because they're a playing
they're
team.
Not. No. Because I'm saying like since it's like at the end of the season, they could easily end up not being in the play-in. Like, regardless of anything, the Warriors are a play-in team, regardless, because there's no way that they're going to get into the playoffs without going into the play-in. The Suns are not a definite play-in team.
But for where they're at right now and the trades
I get your point, but that's not true. But I get your point.
I get what you're saying. I feel you what you're saying, but you got to remember at the same time, though, you got to look at who you traded for, the roster that you really developed.
So you make that trade to now be a better contender, not a
So right now, I'm
team.
talking about if you went from the 5th seed. And now you're like, what? You're 8th, you're 7th and 8th right now. You're fighting to get that 7th seed. You digressed a little, bro, to keep it a buck.
Because you gutted the roster, and that's the point too. You got Kevin Durant. He's a phenomenal player, and that's not even. I hope that's not coming off like that. Yeah. And he does help a team. But you also gutted the roster, which is showing because now they're depending on Bol to come off the bench and to hopefully be happy enough to give you 10 points.
And you got to remember, too, Mikal and Cam was playing, like, feel me? Even Mikal missed what? Mikal missed 2 games throughout his whole, like, basketball life now at this point. Now you got Bradley Beal that damn near you don't know if he's going to play 2 games or going to be out for 3 months. Now you got freaking KD, like, and we know Kevin Durant's, like, history with injuries, post Achilles tear, like, feel me? He hasn't always been there, like, feel me, throughout the regular season, like, feel me? He's here, but sometimes, like, you just don't know. Like, it's a little bit, like, you got a little caution sign on him. And even Devin Booker, too, he missed time. When we had the trade before with those guys, the Aytons, the Cam Johnsons, and the Mikal Bridges, you know, feel me? They're not going to be, like, the superstars that, you know, all these
they had Ayton.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But you had durability, too, and I feel like that plays a factor into why this team is underachieving, too, as well, too. So you gave up for stars. You gave up for stars that are injury prone when you had role players that were solid and durable too. So like that, it's like if you put that on the scale too, I would weigh towards the durable players.
So you gave away, and that wasn't the same trade, but Ayton's not here no more. Bridges and Johnson, 3 part of your young core, and Devin Booker's still here. To get Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, who both can play full seasons, and you haven't really, just based off what we've seen, the needle really hasn't been moved. They're just still they're in the playoff hunt, but it's like they're not a top 4 to where we're like, yo,
they're not. Yo,
if
the Suns
somebody
are making
matches
out the
up
West.
with the Suns right now, they're in it's like
I disagree, but
it's like if they lose 3 straight right now, they're the 8th seed, and that's just what it is.
I disagree, but
that was a long discussion. Jalen, you have the floor. Can we get your worst? Which player, team, or moment has been the biggest disappointment? Go ahead.
Definitely the biggest disappointment for me is the Brooklyn Nets, just because I just feel specifically, just going into the season, I definitely feel like the team was better than what's being shown right now. I definitely feel the problem is on Jock Vaughn and Spencer Dinwiddie specifically. I definitely feel Jock Vaughn in the beginning of the season. I think with Ben Simmons healthy, he had like, I guess, a system going and a clear objective of what he wanted to do. Now with Ben Simmons out, I definitely question a whole bunch of his decisions. And specifically too, I definitely feel like this is when he lost the team, when he decided to tank against the Milwaukee Bucks and just not play all the starters just to lose the next game against the Wizards and not play Cam Thomas. And then frequently in press conferences go at Cam Thomas saying that he can't play defense. This is not why I'm playing him. And going and putting him like behind Spencer Dinwiddie when Spencer Dinwiddie damn well knows he did not want to be there, and he showed it on the court. There was no energy on the court at all. The reason why is because this is a fun team for me to watch, specifically because, again, when I'm watching them and Mikal Bridges is going, talking shit, doing his sallies, and then Nick Claxton's being aggressive, physical throughout the whole game. And then Cam Thomas is doing his thing. And then at a point, Lonnie Walker was looking like sixth man of the year. He was averaging like a solid 18, but then he got hurt. So it's just frustrating. But I definitely feel like just throughout this whole season with the coaching adjustments and just the energy with the team itself, it's just been very disappointing overall. And I know like the Ben Simmons situation is like big to other people, but again, I don't get like, if we have him, we have him. If we don't, we don't. But again, there's still no reason why that team should be like not winning games or not even having like that same spark of energy. Like the whole big thing with me is like okay, like the way y'all lose games shouldn't look like that, like, period. And I think a big part of Jock Vaughn being fired was the fact that Mikal Bridges called him out and said, bro, we have to know what the fuck we're doing on the court. And he kept reiterating over and over, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't, like, it became very frustrating, but I'm still rocking with the Brooklyn Nets, so that's my team.
Can I ask just one question? And
Yeah.
so you can have the floor. Do you feel Jacques Vaughn did a better job when he had the big three?
He didn't have the big three though. He only had Kyrie and KD. So I feel like he did a better job, but I think more of that was more so just playing into Kevin Durant's hands.
Okay, so that's all for a personal thing in my head. I just wanted to know how you felt about that. Go ahead, Sam.
To me, I was good at. I also had the Brooklyn Nets in mind, but I didn't have the Brooklyn Nets itself. I had Mikal Bridges actually as one of the most disappointing players because to me, just post-trade deadline from last year, we seen a whole different Mikal Bridges, and that's with Jock Vaughn. So I can't definitively put it all on Jock Vaughn too. I feel like just Mikal Bridges has not capitalized of what was last year. Just the breakout like post-trade, like he was just like he looked like he could be a legit superstar. Like, he was giving teams 45, 40, 30 balls and shit like that. I see Mikal Bridges regress a little bit. And to your point, I don't know the whole situation within the Brooklyn Nets. You know more about the Brooklyn Nets than I do. So I'll definitely give you to that point. Maybe it might be a coaching thing. Or maybe you just feel me. But I feel like Mikal Bridges is much as to blame for this season, too, as well. Because to me, I feel like he should have been the definitive superstar. When I look at it, too, he's sharing buckets with Cam Thomas. And we know Cam Thomas is a hell of a player right now offensively, you feel me? We're still trying to figure out what else he can do besides scoring, all that. But I do feel like Mikal Bridges has not looked like the full leader of this team. I feel like he definitely does take a step back and fits in with his peers within his team. Like, I feel like there's some nights that he could go off, or some nights that Cam Thomas could go off, Cam Johnson too could go off. I feel like the team as a whole has regressed to what we thought they could have been last season as well. And I look at it too, it's just like, I feel like they haven't given Nick Claxton the like type of respect that he does deserve too, as a big that's very agile that can switch out on perimeter plays too as well. So this whole team in general, and just making the playoffs and now to just being, I believe, in the 11th seed and potentially missing out on the play-in, it's just been a whole disappointment too. So I definitely agree to you that as well. So this team like really has to look deep within themselves and just, I don't know, but. To add on to who else I blame, to me, Sean Marks is just a horrible GM. Joe Tsai's a horrible owner. Like, you had the big three, the shit didn't work, and everybody go their separate ways. I just feel like they just can't get shit right in Brooklyn. They just really can't. So to me, I was gonna put Mikal Bridges too, and the fact that they even traded for a Ben Simmons that has 2 back surgeries now, and get well soon, Ben Simmons. Nobody wants to see a player get hurt and step out away from the game and shit like that. But you traded for a player with 2 back surgeries now. So what does that say about your future too? If you don't even know if this man's gonna even be playing basketball within the next 4 or 5 years. So it's a whole mess in Brooklyn too. So feel me, I know you're expressing concern being the fan that you are. So I just have to add on to that.
I don't have anything to say about the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to that team. Who I felt was the most disappointing player? Well, I really had two answers, cause just in case we ended up saying the same. But obviously, I got to talk about Jordan Poole. That was someone I believe I had him as most improved player, and he's gonna win the worst player in the league award, like, cause he just hasn't been good. He's damn near down in every statistical category. Every time I see him play at least once a week, he's a meme. He's just doing something crazy. The last time I seen him, he fell on the ground. I was about to shoot it from the floor, and the whole arena has their hand over their mouth. Like, is he really about to shoot this? His whole season has just been a meme. And I think the worst part about it was that when he got moved to the bench, he actually started playing better. So now, is he gonna be a starter again? Because it's like it seems like you're only good when you're coming off the bench. Whenever you're starting, it's just a joke. So it's like I'm not sure what happened, but it also made me think. It's ironic y'all brought up Ben Simmons. I'm noticing. I feel like not a lot of players, but certain players now, and despite this mental health thing is very important in the NBA. I feel like one thing, a certain situation happens, and then their career is just not the same. Ben Simmons in that layup thing where he passed it up. It just, if you look at his career before and after that, it's night and day. That Jordan Poole punch, his career before the punch and after is night and day. It's like it's not even the same person. He grew the afro out. Like there's no more baddies
Before the
shot. Like, before the shot.
Hank shirt after the shot. Yeezy.
Shout out gun titles. But like it's just completely different. So I guess respect to Draymond Green, he knocked the player out of him. Like it's just I'm just don't know what the hell happened to Jordan Poole. I'm interested to see what happens next, but it's like when a team just trades for you, and then in the middle of the season they're talking about they made a mistake. It's like what the hell? Like what? That's just a complete disaster.
Before the cut, bro. Shumpert, nigga, after the cut, Beasley, bro.
Like I don't know what Jordan Poole, and this is not to bash you. I actually want to see you play better next season. I had you winning the award because I'm thinking you're gonna be on a new team now. It's your team that you was gonna elevate your game, and you just didn't in no category. Like not even being a leader. So it's just like you gotta look at yourself in the mirror this offseason and try to come back and get better because.
To me, I'm not gonna violate Jordan Poole like that. I think Washington as an organization is shit right now.
You can say that, but Jordan Poole, he shouldn't be a meme every week.
Nah, he shouldn't. But I feel like the organization is a joke. So what does that say about the players?
It doesn't seem like they're ever trying to prosper to be a real competent franchise.
Because look at what Kyle Kuzma just said.
But he ain't helping.
No, that's what I'm saying. Look what he said. He's just like, oh, nobody wants to be the team that loses to the Pistons. Damn, y'all niggas are damn near worse than the Pistons.
I don't even want to talk about Kyle.
That's what I'm saying. So I think just the organization itself, I think there's no real leaders. There's no, feel me, when we look at Washington, is there any OGs that are going to come to Washington and be like, oh, this is what y'all need to do? Y'all feel?
No, but
is there
no
any
one
like
ever goes to Washington.
That's what I'm saying. So it might be Washington, man. Washington is a shit place to play basketball right now. Like, feel me? Like, you see what happened to Daniel Gafford, bro? He was a no-name. Now the nigga almost broke Wilt Chamberlain's record for most consistent field goals, bro. Like, feel me? I think more so it's on Washington than it is Jordan Poole because there's no structure over there. That is bullshit. Like, you got my man Tyus Jones, who is a starting caliber point guard, sitting there playing with these bum ass niggas, man.
I can't blame the franchise for him wanting to shoot it from the ground.
Nah, he's burnt. But I feel like on the right team, but don't you think like on the right team, like Jordan Poole could be more of a factor?
Well, no, I don't think
it would look less bonehead.
I don't think it would have worked anywhere because, well, unless he went to a contender and to where they would have contended whether he was there or not.
So you tell me right now, Jordan Poole and the Lakers wouldn't help.
That's what I'm saying. If their team was already, that's LeBron and AD. You can't trick me into that question.
No, I'm just asking.
That's not the same thing.
But on the right organization,
him as the number one option. No, because he got too big-headed. He didn't come into this situation like, I want to help this team. It's like, no, this is my team. Listen to what I have to say. I'm the champion. I got the bag. Do what I say. That's literally how he came into this season.
No, you're right about that. I'll give you that.
But my second runner-up, y'all still not off the hook. And this is just the whole Pistons season. Right, I just want to say this. Right now, they're on pace to have a worse record than last season. How are they on pace to do that?
Yeah.
I know. I really had to look because I'm like, how many wins do they got right now?
They got
If they don't win 5 more games, and there's not that many left, they're going to be worse than last season. So this is with getting more talent, getting a better coach, and you're worse. There's nothing else to even say because that's just
They got worse too.
who
The Pistons.
when
They got rid of Bogdanovich, Alec Burks, they brought Quinn. Quinn Grimes has been shit this far, and bro, like filming the thing.
Shout
I
out
fucked
Quinn
with
Grimes.
Quinn Grimes in New York. I feel like he could have had more time.
I like Quinn Grimes.
Bro, I've seen, bro, his shooting percentage, bro, looks like some shit I would put up in the NBA, bro. 1 for 7, 0 for 6 from 3. Like,
You're gonna get that one sub.
I might get that one, bro, with like 3 seconds left on the fourth quarter. Nobody playing defense. We down 40, bro. They gonna give me one, bro. If we're down 40, bro, I'll get one bucket, bro.
Yo, I can see you pulling up to shoot that shot. Yo, that's
I'll
funny.
airball that bitch, bro. I'll make sure I'm running to the basket, bro. I get one foul, bro.
Nah, but listen, the Pistons, y'all just gotta figure this out. And then it's like you did all these moves. You gave the coach damn near $1 billion contract. You got Cade Cunningham now healthy. Jalen, I want to hear your thoughts. Just how are the Pistons worse?
Honestly, I really just don't know.
Like
Honestly.
I can't.
Shout out to Killian Hayes,
Oh God.
my son.
Bro,
They
that nigga's
waved
gone,
him.
bro.
They waved him. They said, bro, you
I
the
don't think I've
problem.
heard about him in like.
But yeah, we don't hear about him no more because now on the team and you don't try to bash him anymore because you put
Nah,
everything on Killian Hayes. Like,
Nah, he had to go, bro.
Yeah, he had
But there's
to
a
go.
list of niggas that still gotta go too.
the team gotta go. There's no.
there's
No, shout out Jalen Duran.
Yeah.
Nah, he
Like,
can stay, bro.
He's doing his thing. And James Wiseman, I don't care if you had one good game, you're trash. I don't want to hear.
Who you have a
about,
good game against?
What was that the last game?
The
Or-
Hornets? You see
I
the
seen-
Hornets?
I seen-
You see the another bum ass
I've
team.
seen a couple
Nah,
highlights
it had to
from
be
James
against. It had to be
Wiseman
against the
lately.
Wizards.
I'm not gonna lie.
God.
So trash on trash, you're gonna look good. Obviously, if you have 10 points against the,
Whoa. Give him some time, bro.
I'm talking about the
Give him some
teams.
time.
Oh no, he might need a true point guard like Jordan Poole. So the Jordan Poole, James Wiseman pick and roll to death. Like
That's like the worst pick and roll ever, bro.
that's my point. But shout out to me for making this segment right here. I like this segment. So thank you to me. But yeah, you gave yours, so we're moving on, right?
Facts.
All right, so we're going back to the Western Conference. 2 teams we kind of talked about earlier in the show, and that is the Lakers and the Warriors. My question is, because right now if the playoffs was to start, they both will be playing teams. So I just want to know which team would be more dangerous to the top teams in the conference out of the play-in. Is that the Warriors or the Lakers? Are you going to start with Jalen?
I'm just gonna say the Golden State Warriors, only specifically because of how the team is structured. Specifically, I definitely feel like again, I think one thing that doesn't get like props on, they're like one of the best rebounding teams despite Draymond at center. Like they're right below the Celtics for the best rebounding team in the NBA. I definitely feel like just the element of having like Steph Curry off the ball and having him run around is definitely tricky. I definitely feel just the others as well just complement the way everybody wants to play basketball. I just feel like, with Pokashevsky, Draymond Green, just playmaking for others. And then kind of Wiggs kind of finds his spots on the court. And then now they have kind of freed up Kuminga to have that freedom to really kind of like space out the floor and let him drive to the basket and give him more lanes to the basket. I definitely feel like it's going to be a threat. Just again, with the younger teams, when you have a Timberwolves and the Thunder, you kind of need another firepower to match that. I definitely feel like Kuminga could definitely compete with those teams as well. And just off the bench too now, again, I know Chris Paul is fresh off injury and Klay is getting into things as well. But another underrated factor is that in the playoffs, in the event they get into the playoffs, Looney, you could plug him in and he's definitely just, his sole goal is just to rebound. And then again, I just feel like they haven't really had a good backup for Draymond Green. So with Jackson Davis being in the lineup, I definitely feel like he's good at just maintaining the lead or just, kind of just like finding his spot on the floor specifically. I just feel like, again, the pace that they run at and just the way that they play, again, it just kind of favors everybody on the court. I definitely feel like compared to the Lakers more so, I just feel like for them, it's more so like a one-person game. I really feel like if D'Lo's going, it's not like the best way for everybody to play more so. I really feel like they kind of have to feed into like Pacific players to get the best out of them. I really feel like with the Warriors, they kind of just could run. They kind of just I wouldn't say they do the same thing every game, but more so just dependent. They just have more freedom to do more things and kind of favors everybody and doesn't really hold back anybody from doing anything else. Like regardless of Steph Curry's going, that's still like Steph Curry going actually opens up Kuminga going to the basket and so on and so forth. So I just feel like they just complement each other, and I specifically too against younger teams like that. I just feel like they'll be a little bit more dangerous.
So.
Man, we done with the Warriors. Straight like this, bro. We got to go with the Lakers, bro, because at the end of the day, though, it's the same team that, made it to the Western Conference Finals off the strength of being in the play-in. So when I look at it, this team, they're going to rely on Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis has been healthy for the most part. So when I look at him, he's really going to be the most important factor, especially, too, in the conference where it's full of bigs. And, just the fact that he, is probably, the second best defensive player, this year, maybe runner up for defensive player of the year. I know that everybody's locking in on Rudy Gobert. And the fact we still got LeBron James that knows how to control and dictate the pace and just how the way the game goes within a playoff series. We seen it even last year with the teams that was higher than him within the Memphis Grizzlies, yeah, and we've seen just that team was just too young to handle a team that, as well as just even the Warriors too. Just that they know that LeBron James can play chess with how he wants to dictate the way the matchup goes. The only time that it didn't work was against the Denver Nuggets, and you see that they were NBA champions. But other than that, though, to be a threat to these other teams, I feel like the Lakers have everything that it takes. It's just that they just didn't really develop no type of consistency. I feel like they have been a little bit better post All-Star break, but at the same time, as they didn't really develop that continuity, that consistency within the whole beginning of the year. I feel like now that you have returning players, I don't know what's the time estimate on Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent to come back and play, but once you get those two pieces going back again, I feel like this team is just, feel me, they're right up there with the top 5 or 6 teams. With the Golden State Warriors, I've seen that, feel me, for the most part, majority has been healthy. I don't know if Steph Curry's back yet. I do know that he went out with an ankle injury.
Back tonight.
Yeah, but even though, feel me, nobody else has really been that good besides Stephen Curry. Andrew Wiggins has been in and out the lineup dealing with his personal issues. Draymond Green, we don't know if one day he's going to be playing. The next, he might snuff somebody in the court and be out for 5 games. And just even too, the younger players is they just, feel me, have not elevated to what we thought they were going to be. I know we see flashes of Jonathan Kuminga, what he could be, but I don't think it's been on a consistent basis. The young players has been very consistent for them. And then just overall, just this team is just they're good prior history, so they know what it takes to win games, but at the same time are they that good enough to beat, these upper echelon teams that, has developed that consistency throughout this whole season and just, got things going to a team that's, just banking on if Steph Curry could get us at least, feel me, going, then we have a chance of, beating these teams.
Nah, yeah. Obviously I definitely agree with you, Seb. It's definitely the Lakers. But let me just ask one question. That duo with Steph Curry and Klay is called the Splash what?
Brothers.
So when they was winning these championships, yes, Steph was great. Even when they had KD and Steph was great. But Klay Thompson was a very important piece to this team, right? Even the games when Steph Curry was struggling, Klay, the Game 6 Klays, right? Dropping those 40 points. They needed a Klay Thompson. The Klay Thompson this season is not the Game 6 Klay. And that's who they're going to need if they were to compete and have a better chance than the Lakers. I just think the Lakers have more size. So you look at a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? 3-1 against them. I think most of that is because of our size. Chet Holmgren isn't going to be able for a whole series to guard Anthony Davis. That's just too much for him. Mm-hmm. He's too young in the game. He's too skinny. That's just too much to ask for. And they have no backup. They're like... Oh, I was about to say something crazy. Actually, shout out to Bismack Biyombo. I was about to say a crazy statement, but the last time we seen him, he just passed out. I'm not trying to violate the man, but it's just I don't think that's a good enough backup. Just to run through the Western Conference. So you even look at the who's top right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's no Karl Anthony Towns right now, but if he does come back for the playoffs, those are 2 bigs you're gonna have to try to deal with. That's why we have the Anthony Davises, the Christian Woods. Hopefully, a Jared Vanderbilt can come back and be a contributor. And then I just feel like a deeper roster. You brought up a Gabe Vincent and a Jared Vanderbilt that we haven't even seen too much of. We haven't really seen a full, healthy Lakers team in any type of consistency. So I feel the Warriors most of their bench is younger players. And young players and young teams don't really win in the playoffs like that. Usually the veteran teams,
especially coming out of a plane.
right, it's usually the veteran teams and the veteran players. So trying to rely on heavy minutes from a Pokashevsky, right? Is that his name? Or that's his name?
Close enough, yeah.
Close enough. And the Jackson Davis kid. And I think there's the Moses Moody's of the world. Jonathan Kuminga has had great games this season. I'm not denying that. But the Seb's point hasn't been consistent enough to where you're like, okay, you got to worry about Steph, Clay, and Jonathan Kuminga. It's like, let's see what Kuminga can give us. My apologies. So, I'm just gonna have to side with them the Los Angeles Lakers, unless it's just the Denver Nuggets. Then I don't think either team could really fuck with the Denver Nuggets. But I think we're kind of talking about if it's that Oklahoma Minnesota Timberwolves type of matchup, then I definitely think it is the Los Angeles Lakers. That's it. No more to say on that. Everyone's good. I actually have one question for you though, Seb. In terms of the Lakers, you seen D'Lo has been playing better though. Shout out to D'Angelo Russell. But do you think they should have made that trade for DeJounte Murray, or they made the right move not pulling the trigger?
They made the right move because at the end of the day, I don't feel like you're gonna get anything that much different from DeJounte Murray. Maybe a little bit more defense, but I just really watched D'Lo just put the whole Lakers team on his back for 44 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Literally, like
great game.
Like,
That's the best game I ever seen you play D'Angelo Russell.
The thing is,
that was
like,
amazing.
I feel like he's playing more with heart now. Like, you know, especially even like since hearing his name in trade talk rumors and just like feel me, you know, like feel me. I feel he might be a little more like sensitive to the others because you know when we look at it, like feel me.
Use your eyes, Chico.
Yeah. He might be a little more sensitive, but he plays with like a passion, like for the game, like feel me. And I see D'Lo do it on more than one occasion now to like feel me. Like if anybody tries to talk down on his name or anything like that, like he'll try to live up to the expectation, like feel me. So you know, shout out to D'Lo for that. And just keeping the whole roster together too, a guy that feel me that's good to be an important piece for them if he could really step up his game is Rui Hachimura. I feel like he's more important than D'Lo too as well because if he gets that scoring going to where it's just like he could give you a consistent 15 or so, that's gonna be scary too.
Listen, there's a lot of players you gotta watch out for. You got Hoodie Melo, you got Game 6 Clay, and trade rumor D'Angelo Russell. It's just a different player. Like shout out to D'Angelo Russell.
Because I feel like I never really heard you talk about it, but how do you feel about Darvin Ham? Because I know you have all these great players, but again, your rotations and how you make adjustments matters. And I've definitely seen like D'Lo have some problems with Darvin Ham and Anthony Davis have problems with Darvin Ham. How do you? I never hear you speak about Darvin Ham at all.
Darvin Ham is an okay coach to me. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think that I think for a LeBron James and an Anthony Davis, we can't forget he used to be a player, Darvin Ham. So I feel like they've accomplished a lot more than him. I don't know how much that plays into now when he's saying certain things. It's like, we have championships. How are you going to tell us to be right there and we think we should be right here? I don't know behind closed doors how much does that play into it, but in terms like D'Angelo Russell, I seen the report thing where last season he was listening to Dennis Schroeder and then D'Angelo Russell felt like, so things like that cannot happen. Was this my pick to be the coach? No, it never was. Back then I would want us to get Doc Rivers back when he was available.
I didn't even know who Darvin Ham was before he got the
right. I was more fine with the Frank Vogel, seeing he did help us win a championship. This was strictly a Lakers decision. You know, I talk about Mark Jackson all the time. I feel like he should have been the coach. If I had to give a grade to Darvin Ham just for this season, I would give him a C+. Just based off the injuries and everything. But listen, man, he still has to prove himself. Like, I don't got too many bad things to say. It was annoying though towards the beginning of the season to where he kept doing all these different starting lineups, and that just annoyed me when I felt like the players kept saying our best lineup was with Austin Reeves, D'Lo, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And I even told Seb it made absolutely no sense. Your third best player cannot be coming off the bench. That doesn't make any sense. D'Angelo Russell has to be a starter, period, or trade him. He cannot be coming off the bench at Austin Reeves either. Because now if you're doing a lineup with LeBron, AD, Cam Reddish, and
Prince,
Torian Prince, that's nasty. Cam Reddish's jump shot is real nasty looking. That's no disrespect, but I be seeing him shoot, and it's just he be look like he just tossing it. So that was annoying. Real, but besides that, listen, man, the man always got his hands in his pocket, the bump on his head. So I could say, man, I don't got too much else.
My son got shot in the head.
Oh, that's what happened.
I heard he got like shot.
That's why he got the bump. If that's why he got the bump, I apologize. I didn't mean it like that. I have no idea about that. But shout out to the Lakers. Shout out to the Warriors. Let's see which one gets out of the plane, right? Last topic to end the show. I feel like with the media, sometimes certain players just get swept under the rug when they was drafted very, very high, and then they blame it just on the team. Lamelo Ball, 3rd overall pick. Right? Definitely has had a better career than James Wiseman, but not on the level of Anthony Edwards. So he's been like right in the middle. Charlotte, it was bad before him, bad with him. I think they're going to be bad after him. So it's like, I just want to ask y'all, I'll start with you, Seb. Is LaMelo Ball not as good as we projected him to be?
Nah, he's still good. To me, I feel like this was a crazy question to me because I'm like, not as good as like, what you mean?
To me, the top 3 overall pick in Charlotte's gotten no better. That's what I'm talking about. They've gotten no better.
Charlotte's been a piece of shit, like, even when we was in high school. So I'll start off like that. Like, feel me? Like, Charlotte has only 2 playoff experiences since, like, you know, we was around. So, like, you know, the one with Miami where they had no chance. And then when we went to Game 7 with Miami with the D-Wade era again and shit like that. But other than that, what more have we seen out of the Charlotte Hornets? This is a poverty organization that we've seen thus far. Michael Jordan has failed this organization time after time again with just the wrong draft picks or just, you know, adding the wrong players, giving the wrong players contracts. We've seen him give a Courtney Hayward like $100 million contract, and now this nigga's riding the bench on freaking OKC, and like, you know, he's an afterthought. So when I look at it like this, it's just like,
shout out Gordon Hayward.
Shout out to him for the career that he had, you know, one-time All-Star, shit like that. But anyways, back to the point. Like
don't let his wife come for you. I'm trying to tell you. Man, she don't be playing on Twitter.
Man, fuck that.
All right.
Shout out to her too as well. But to the point, it's just like LaMelo Ball, when he's on the court, we seen that, you know, he's a top like 10 talent for like the future of the league. Like, feel me? Let's not just act like when LaMelo Ball wasn't healthy, like he was trying to put this team on his back, you know, especially when Terry Rozier was out. They had more luxury of, like, you know, having LaMelo Ball, you know, being a ball dominant player. Even before that, his first 2 years within the league, they was flirting with making the playoffs. They just crashed out towards the end. I know that first year when he was trying to win Rookie of the Year, they definitely was in the playing against Indiana where they got absolutely punched. But, you know, we seen like a little bit more difference. Yeah, we seen the difference with this team. You know, they was capable of winning more games. But just when you keep going down the line, it's just like, this team is never going to get any better. Like, feel me? Like, look at they starting centers. Like, feel me? Look at who they drafted. The only 2 good things that's ever came out of this situation within the past 3 to 4 years has been LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges, and even Brandon Miller. But if they don't get out of there, Brandon Miller might get corrupted within this organization, because what I'm seeing right now is they have the right talents, but it's just always something, rather if it's the outside drama within the Charlotte Hornets organization with these players, or whether it's just like, you know, the player developmental staff. Like, feel me? We have not seen a consistent good year of Charlotte for how many years now? And whether it was the Kemba Walker era or just even before that, we have not seen nothing good at all. Like, feel me? Like, Kemba Walker was used to losing. Like, he was a loser in the Charlotte Hornets. He gets to the Boston Celtics one year, they make it to the conference finals, though be it in the bubble. Like, he still makes the conference finals. Feel me? So it's a whole different thing. Like, Kelly Oubre got out of like the Hornets, and now, like, feel me, he has a more vital role within Philly. Like, feel me, things like that. When players get out of bad situations, we really see the best of them. So to me, it's not LaMelo Ball himself. I feel like it's the organization that has to hold players more accountable, you know, get them in the right shape, you know, take weight training and stuff like that serious, so that way you don't get hurt or your ankles can actually hold up or some shit like that. I feel like with this team, they just let these players go out there and just fucking play like it's a 5-on-5 outside at Dutch. Like, to me, that's really what it seems like, though. So, like, I know you want to add Steve Clifford in, and he's done the best that he could, but even him, he said himself, like, we're just not good as a team. Like, we don't hustle on defense. We prioritize offense too much. Like, feel me? The organization itself it's been bullshit. So, to me, I feel like a guy like LaMelo Ball, if he takes his talent somewhere to where the organization is really going to hold you to a certain standard. Like in a Miami culture, we see a LaMelo Ball be another All-Star. Like he's already an All-Star one time. If you take him to like somewhere like LA or like hometown with the Lakers or shit, he'd be great over there. But just the Charlotte Hornets itself is not a good franchise. Like zero, like they have nothing to show for it.
Okay. Jalen?
No, I still think LaMelo Ball is still a superstar talent. I just feel more so it's just because he's just been injured. Again, like he's only played, I think, about like 20 to 30 games this season. And even when he played, he was averaging, I think, maybe like 23, 5, and 8. Like he's still capable. He's a still high-level point guard. But again, it's just injuries. And I feel like these past 2 seasons, he just hasn't gotten through at those games. Again, he's been constantly injured, so it's just hard to really make an assessment when he's just not on the court. And again, to Seth's point, like his first 2 years, when he was actually playing, he was actually, they're fighting for the playing spot again, but when they got there, they got smacked. But he at least was trying to lead them somewhere. Now, I just feel like him not being able to just play alongside of Brandon Miller and the Miles Bridges kind of definitely hurts the team and definitely makes the team look bad. And also, too, their starting center, Mark Williams, who they, this will be his sophomore year, also missed majority of the season as well. Like, I just feel like just injuries is just a big part of this team. I definitely feel that they would definitely be a better team. I'm not saying that they will be just a playoff playing team, but they would definitely just not be in the situation that they're in now. I definitely feel like they would be a better team if they just had players available to play. Now, I definitely feel like going into next season, if you have LaMelo healthy and you have Mark Williams healthy and you have a full lineup with all your draft picks and the people that you wanted on the team, I definitely feel like they would just definitely be better. But again, just LaMelo Ball is just injury prone these past 2 seasons, so it's just hard to get a real assessment for him.
No, right. You definitely made a great point. I just asked this once again. He was a top 3 pick. Usually when you're a top 3 pick, you're really a transcendent player and supposed to take this team that's in the depths of hell out of there. And maybe this team is just too cursed for anyone to do anything about that. You could be right, Seb. But to your point, he's just been very injury prone. And as much as I don't want to blame that on him, I still have to say they drafted you number 3. We've had players in the past who they just been too hurt and they've ended up being a bust. Mm-hmm. Even though when they was healthy, they did put up numbers. Mm-hmm. So I'm hopeful that he can get healthy to try to help this team out. But I guess I'll go with your point. We have to really maybe judge it next season if they are 100% healthy. Because I need to see. Yeah, he's a great passer, but it's like how great are you as a leader too? Mm-hmm. He's gonna. I'm gonna need to see that. Yeah, and just get healthy, man. Yeah. I just wanted to really hear y'all opinion. I don't got too much to say on LaMelo Ball, besides just get healthy and let's see what he does next season. Mm-hmm. That's all I got. Nothing else you want to talk about real quick? You got a little bit of time. There's nothing going on.
Quick question though, because it's definitely been on my mind. So for the Philadelphia 76ers though, do y'all feel as if Joel Embiid should get shut down for the season? Be it though that I don't think they're real in contentious to make a run for a title now, especially if you're trying to bring a guy back, trying to get his groove back in time for the playoffs. The playoffs is a different animal. Do you think they should they should try to bring back Joel Embiid for like the first 2 weeks of April, or should they just shut him down for the season?
First 2 weeks of April before the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it definitely, again, like the 76ers don't have the luxury to really do that necessarily because, again, I really feel like their whole objective is to be a contending team. So I definitely feel like just shutting down Joel Embiid will end up as a failure. But I look at it like this. If they do shut Joel Embiid down, it's kind of a plus because you're now gaining Tyrese Maxey a whole different experience now in the playoffs. And he has like a Kyle Lowry right there to really guide him through. So it could be more so like, it's like a better investment for like Tyrese Maxey to go into the playoffs as a star player than to have Joel Embiid. But I just feel even if Joel Embiid is healthy and good to go, it's still going to end bad. So I just feel like they have to, though. They just have to. You just have to play Embiid. You have
Oh,
to.
well, I think if he plays and he's healthy, I think they got a shot. Like before he got hurt, they was cooking. Like the team looked great. I love the pairing of him and Maxi and B's offense got better. He was having 70-point games, 60-point games. It looked like nobody in the league could stop him. He was having a great season. He was gonna be back-to-back MVP. That's exactly how that was supposed to go down. So if he's healthy and he wants to play, yeah, you let him play. Like, but if it's the case where he has to come back with the brace and now it's the big thing with the brace and now all this, man, I don't want to see all that, man. Like, cause they might get out the first round, they get a favorable matchup, but are they gonna be able to beat the Celtics and the Bucks if he's not 100%? Nah, like that's just asking too much out of him, and Maxi's not a good enough player to be a number one option to beat those type of teams. I love Tyrese Maxey too, but he's not that type of guy. And Tobias Harris is trash. I've eventually come to that realization. I think I was one of the ones that was trying to just give him some credit, but I just give him some time. He's trash. So I was just watching. Who did they play? No, I think it was the Knicks.
I was at that game, bro. That's the worst fucking game I ever went to, bro. 79-73. That's the worst game I ever went to.
Like, but I'm thinking it's like Tyrese Maxey wasn't playing, no Embiid. I get Buddy Hield's on the team, but calm down.
They got 6 points.
Tobias Harris is like, nigga, like where's the bag? Like where's the skill set?
Bro,
where's the?
Let me walk you through that game,
it's
bro.
just I'm seeing absolutely nothing. I'm kind of mad because you fucked up my parlay, but it's like, bro, you couldn't have 15.
Bro, the nigga had like 8 points. I don't even think he's cracked double digits.
Damn,
bro, the highest
Tobias.
score was Kelly Oubre with 19. After that, everybody else 15. Like, bro, that's the worst game I ever seen, bro. This shit like a college basketball game, bro. So that's what brings me to the point too. I'm just like, if this team is playing like this, I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel real confident in my hopes, especially bringing back a Joel Embiid right before playoffs, in the middle of it, where teams right now are trying to find their stride, and now you trying to get your legs back into NBA form, and not only NBA form, into playoff form. That's a whole different caliber to itself. So now, like, I think they should really shut him down because the team is not showing nothing to where if we bring Embiid in back and he's like, what, 85 to 90%, that we have an actual run. Like,
but he's the type of player, he's such a focal point on offense that is going to make a difference, bro. I can't judge this 76ers team I'm seeing right now. It's two different teams.
Nah, 100%.
Look how they play with Embiid and it's two different teams. Tobias Harris as your second option is trash. We done with Tobias Harris.
we done with Tobias Harris.
I had to get that out because it was just like, bruh. I'm just looking. I keep looking back on my phone. Why is he not scoring? Yep. Who else is supposed to score?
Bro, Kelly Oubre was getting off.
Like,
bro.
it was just like, damn, bro. It's like,
but the thing, he was cooking in the beginning of the game too. He had like an easy layup, then he had a step back like mid range. I'm like, oh yeah, it's about to be this nigga night, bro. I look back up at the top of the box score. This nigga had like 8 points, bro. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
But it's like Paul Reed has more confidence shooting threes than him.
Oh yeah. Shout out Paul Reed. Shout out Paul Reed,
bro.
Shout out Paul Reed. He got potential too. Like, feel me? Like, he's getting more comfortable within his game. I seen him take a mid-range, and this shot is funny. It's like a set shot.
Yeah.
So I'm watching him shoot. I'm like, hell no, that shit ain't going in. That shit was chicken. Then the nigga, like, the 4 possessions later on, bro, the nigga shoots the shit from, like, the corner. That shit is chicken again. I'm like, what the fuck? I go on, you know, them little G League pages that highlights G League players that's doing their thing and shit. Yeah. Bro, that nigga shooting, like, a good, like, 35% from threes. He's taking way more threes this year. So shout out Paul Reed too, man. I was unfamiliar with your game.
Shout out to them, but Tobias Harris, you're trash, man. Like, I'm just so disappointed. Like, I remember back when he was on the Clippers, he was averaging about 19 to 20 a game. He was doing his thing.
Tobias Harris over me?
Like, now it's just looking like they completely just picked the wrong person.
Nah, once that contract is done, it's over with.
Like,
shout out to him for getting the bag, though. Like,
yeah,
feel
he
me?
got the bag,
bro. That's some real finesse shit.
I remember at the beginning of the season, he was like, these fans don't know what they want. They would trade me for a bag of chips. It was like, nigga.
That bag of chips don't sound too bad right now.
Like, you had about 6 more than the bag of chips. Like,
nah, this bag of chips have more, bro. There's like 20 chips in a bag, bro. I think only had 8. Yo, what the fuck, man?
Tobias Harris, man. You know what? At the end of the season, I'm doing an all NBA trash team. So I already got Jordan Poole. and my coach is Monty Williams, and now I just put in Tobias Harris. Looking for 3 more, y'all. I'm looking for 3 more motherfuckers. Like, cause I'm just so disappointed with some of y'all players, man. Like, y'all be getting 150 million, 200 million, and then after that, it's like you averaging 11 points.
Tell him.
I just heard Shaq say he was like, if back then that's what they was giving. Oh my God. Rudy Gobert averaging 12 points and has got $150 million.
Shaq would have got 300. Shaq would have got a Jaylen Brown contract.
God damn.
Yo, Shaq would have got a Jaylen Brown contract.
Nah, he definitely would. But that's gonna do it for this episode of It's Debatable. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. So I really gotta say, no one else got nothing to say.
Nah, man.
All right, man. We up.